When you come to the end of the chapter in your book and it's time to put it away, what do? Do you just fold down the page? Maybe you just grab something handy like a receipt, use that. Perhaps you're a bit more organised and you've got a postcard that you like to use. Well, today on the Virtual Village Hall, we are going to elevate your reading pleasure by showing you how to make these brilliant woven bookmarks, perfect for summer reading. So they do take a little bit of time to make. So just to let you know, in this session, it's more about showing you how to cast on, how to do a few little tricks, how to do some basic weaving, and then how to finish your bookmarks off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop you down and we'll get started. Okay, so let's just start by going through the materials that you're going to need. So let's start with the basic things that you might already have. So I'm going to be using some embroidery thread here. You want all the strands. You don't want to split those up. You'll also need something a bit thicker, like some string or perhaps some wool. You can use wool instead of the embroidery threads as well, just some scraps. It's a nice way of using up scraps, things that you've got lying around. You'll also need your scissors. You'll need a wide tooth comb, and you'll need an embroidery thread sized needle. So that's the stuff that you might already have. A couple of bits that we're going to need to sort out as well is this kind of rudimentary loom. So for this, I've just got a block of wood. I've got 20 panel pins, and I also used a hammer to knock those in. If you don't want to go down that route, you can use a photo frame. So just an old photo frame, one like this. I wouldn't go any bigger than A4, kind of keep it A5, A4 size. And I'm going to start by showing you how to use it, how to make up one of these, and then I'll show you how to make up one of these, and then I'll show you how to do the weaving. So to use a photo frame, you want to get your string, and you can either tie it on or you can use a stapler just to staple it on. So you're going to want to tie it really tight. And then, keeping it in as straight a line as you can, you want to wrap your string around. Keep nice and straight, come up, pull it tight, and then take it back down, keeping it as close as you can to the other string. It's easier to do when you're not having to keep it flat to show, so you can twist it round as you need to. And then you want to give yourself sort of 10 or 11 strings, and that will give you a bookmark that's about 2.5 inches or an inch wide. So if you want a larger bookmark or a wider bookmark, just keep going with the threads. Okay, so that's how you do that, using a photo frame. And then you would just cut your string with quite a bit of length so that you can tie it up, and then you're ready to weave. So that's if you're using a photo frame. If you want to just use a block of wood, then take your block of wood and you'll just want to use your hammer to nail those panel pins in place. I tend to do the top part first, and I've only just got a few on here to show you, but you want 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, so you'll want 9 for that sort of 2.5 centimetre bookmark. You want to do them quite close together, and then you want to do the ones at the bottom at the same width, so it's nice and straight still. So you can either measure on your block of wood or just do what I do. I just take the middle one, tie the string around it, and then I just position the string so it's nice and straight. Take my panel pin, and hammer it in, and then take the subsequent pins, just keeping them nice and close like you have at the top. Just make sure they're nice and secure because you don't want them falling out as you're weaving. So you've got two options there: wrap the string around a photo frame, or make up a sort of a little bit of a loom type effect with some panel pins and a block of wood. Nice and easy. So to start, you want to make a slip knot. So that's just making that kind of little bunny ear. Take the string underneath, poke it through, and pull in that loop that came through like that, and that's going to give you that slip knot. So I work left to right. So I put that around the first panel pin and then just pull it nice and tight, pop that out of the way, and then I come down, keeping it tight, keeping it straight, and I go round that pin, that first pin, pop it through, and then I go up between the second and the third, bring that down, and then the same at the bottom between the second and the third, cross it over the third, back up, and we want to now come between the fourth and the fifth, and then you just keep going all the way along like that until you come to the end. So then when you come to the end, make sure it's nice and tight, tie that off, just with that, and you're ready to start. So at this point, or maybe even before you use the string, it's probably a good idea to wash your hands, which might sound silly, but if you do embroidery or sewing, then you know that even just the oils from your hands can mark what you're doing. So just take a little bit of alcohol gel, or just go and wash your hands with soap and water, so that we make sure that we keep our bookmarks nice and clean. That's it. And then we're ready to start. So let's get our embroidery needle. And that's our biggest needle, and also our thread. And what I'm going to show you is just how to start off, and then we're going to do some basic weaving and then add in a little bit of detail. So if you've just joined us, we are making woven bookmarks today. So I've got my embroidery thread, or you could use wool. And then I just want to thread the needle. excuse me, I've had a bit of a cold, so excuse me for the coughing. So you'd be working on more threads than this, but I just wanted to use this to show you how to start. So I'm going to raise the string slightly so that it's easier to get underneath. And I normally start on the second or third so that you can't see the tie at the side. So, oh, actually, that's easy, isn't it? So I just take my needle through. I just tie it, just a double knot. And then I just make sure that that knot lies underneath so it's out the way. Like so. Then I just come back to the beginning. And this is where the comb comes in useful. So just make sure that you've got one, there's only one in each of the sort of the middle of the teeth. And I'm just going to put that up to the top, or just near the top. Leave a bit of a gap because we're going to be tying these sort of to make those tassels. So leave as much as you want, as long as you want your tassels. And then we're just going to take our needle and we're going to go over the first, under the second, over the third, under the fourth, over the fifth, and then along to the end. There we are. So I say you'll have a few more to do, but you just go up and under, just like normal weaving. And then when you come to the end, you want to go over that for that what are we now? We're on the sixth one, over and then under, over, under, over, under, over. Pull it along. It's just basic weaving. It's something you've probably done before at some point. Now the trick is don't pull this too tight. If you pull it too tight, then you'll end up with a wibbly wobbly bookmark. So you just want to, you don't want to be too loose either. It's a bit like Goldilocks porridge. You want it just so. Yeah, just make sure I get my the teeth in the right way. There we go. And then back to the other side. And over, under, over, under, over, under. Pull the embroidery thread through. Not too tight at the end. You can always tighten it up if you need to. And then the same again. And at this point you can just make sure that the top is straight as well and that those are starting to bunch up. Okay, so that's how you start off. So I'm going to put this one to the side for a moment, and I'm going to continue on this one. Make sure you can see it properly. And I'll show you how to create these sort of triangular patterns. So I'm going to do the basic weaving over, under, over, under. But then when I get to the second to last, I'm going to pull the thread through, again keeping that not too loose, not too tight. And rather than going under and over again, I'm going to go under that second to last one and leave that one clear. And then just go back the other way. Use the comb to butt it up against the last weave. And then this time I'm just going to go to the third to last one, pull it through, sorry, push it up and then go back to the start. So all I'm doing each time is just taking it, just leaving one out. And the great thing is, if you make a mistake, then you just unweave it. And this is a nice little project you can do, maybe just watching the TV. If you supervise the making of the loom, then it's something that the children can do. But summer holidays are upon us, so it's a good one for them to do. Might keep them quiet for a few hours, or something that they could do a little bit every day. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that one long for the moment. I won't tie that off just yet. And as you can see, as we've just missed a thread every time, it's made this diagonal pattern. So now we can fill this bit in. So let's go for a green. And again, I'm going to tie on just one or two in. Push that knot behind. Like so, put that out the way. Take that bit off because I managed to split the thread. I did that. And I want to start at the beginning. That's that way. So I'm doing the same thing but on the other side. So starting off with the two. And because your comb is just going to keep butting up against this lower line, just take it out and then just use it to go up to those few. So keep everything free from the back so it's all catching up. And they're just working back through the other way. That's a bit tight, so I'll just loosen that up. And go again. So if you wanted to use this to make a sort of a chevron pattern, or maybe a cross, an X sort of shape through, all you would do, so as we did before, you just come to the center and then work out again. Or if you just want to do it stripes, that's absolutely fine. You can either be quite methodical, or all you need to, I'll show you how to just do the next colours. Let me just finish this off for you. Again, a bit too tight. And for this one, we're going right the way along. That's it. And I'll just do one more to come back the other way. Finish that off, and then the strand from the yellow that we kept loose, that can just be now tied just again in a double knot, and it will be tight enough so that it doesn't come loose, but not too tight so that it pulls on your threads. Just add a bit there. There we go. So you might be able to see this bit here. Actually, it might show better up on here, where I've done it so that these threads are left the white of the string, and then these are just kind of give that sort of stripe, that vertical stripe effect. So the way to do that is, once again, you make this diagonal shape, and then you just do some straight lines across, and then the bit that is left open, you would just miss a thread every time, so as to give those horizontal shapes, horizontal lines. So that's how you do it. Sorry, vertical lines. So that's how you do those ones. So if you're just quite happy just to weave in and out, you just take another colour. Let's go in with our blue. tie a nice tight knot. Just neaten it up enough. Don't take too much off, but just enough so that's going to stay secure. Let's pull it slightly tighter. There we go. So again, just weaving in and out. Sometimes it needs a little bit of a helping hand, especially if you manage to go through one of the threads like I just did. And there you go, and then that blue's come in. Yeah. And it's just quite therapeutic really, and it's surprising how quickly it does build up. Okay, so I would carry on going to the end. Just make sure it goes all the way through. Okay, so yeah, so carry on to the end, but stop just before you want your tassels to finish. And the way to finish off, I just go a few in. And then I just use the last part of the thread just to make a loop, and then go through the loop, pull that, and that will finish that off for you. And then you can just tuck it up with that other piece and you won't notice there. Tie it off, there we go. So just make sure that that's all nicely, sorry, make sure you see that again. Make sure that's nice and tight. So yeah, so to finish off, you can just take these off or cut them. To cut those ones. And then the same at the top. That's it. That to one side. So just neaten up the back. There we go. And you can just tie those ends, do them in a double knot. Okay, last one. That's it. It all looks a bit messy at the moment. But then what you do, you just twist in the opposite direction that the string is going, and then use your comb just to comb these bits out. A bit of a helping hand. There we go. And then that's how you finish off. That's nice and secure. Here's the sample one I did, and then that's ready to go into your book. And I've lost my book. Oh, I'm not sure where my book went. But that is ready to go into your book when you finish your chapter. So thank you so much for joining me here on the Virtual Village Hall today. If you've enjoyed the video, then please do give us a like or a comment. We always love to see your work as well here on the Virtual Village Hall. So if you have a go at making these bookmarks, then please do take a photo and put it in the comments, and we'll be able to share it with everyone else. And also let us know what books you're reading. Always welcome for a book recommendation. So have a fantastic reading summer, and I will see you again here on the Virtual Village Hall. Take care. Bye.